between storms. Pretty turbulent today. It's a pretty good climb out of this valley. It's not showing the grade there, but you earn it. A couple thousand feet comes at you in a pretty short time. Anyway, just a view of the trail, and thank God we're having wind now instead of the rains that I started out with. I wanted to show kind of a system I've developed for the changing conditions. In particular, this time of year, when I started out it was pouring, and nothing like getting soaked with near freezing rain and then having to do your adventure. So what I've kind of developed as I walk is I wear my pack, and I don't know if you can see that poncho, but I have it set so that it sheds rain really well. When I get caught in a storm or I have to go through some wet brush, I don't know if you can see I have the hood right here behind me. All I have to do right here is simply pull my hat off. I pull this up over the top of myself and put my hat on, and then this hood on top. And it's like walking in a portable tent. Getting soaked with sweat is one thing, but getting thoroughly soaked in ice water is quite another. The pack alone, if I don't do this, will saturate with water. I put most of the items inside their own waterproof bags, but the pack gets pretty heavy, and towards the end of the day that really makes a difference. Anyway, this is what I do. Butte Fork Slide. We'll be right up there in just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can retrace the trail I lost last weekend. Should be able to do a little better. A lot of snow has melted off. So hopefully I don't get into the deep wet stuff till I get up quite a bit higher this time. Okay, this is where I went off course last week. And I could kind of see the impressions of the snowshoes. What a difference 8 days makes in snow. We're down to just ankle wading now in this very wet slush. What a massive melt off. Anyway, I'm off to attempt to follow the correct trail. And here's how the trail gets very vague. The GPS is off by several hundred feet. The canopy and where I'm sitting is just not accurate enough. So I'm just taking waypoints and having to hike around until I find the way. I know better than to go open woods. Yeah, you can easily burn up the day, and then you're going to be coming back in the dark, and you'd be in trouble in here. You know, unless you had the radar of a bat. Anyway, continuing on. Here's where I'm coming up here. Snow's pretty solid. The dogs are able to stay on top of it. I'm trying to find the trail. It's been quite a challenge here. Don't really want to step near this thing. It's a good place to break a leg. We'll head down this way. These snow wells around things, there can be cavities you're not expecting, where the heavy brush is covered by the snow. So definitely need to be cautious. Okay. I think I'm going up through this ravine up through here. But, I'm going to make some tracks up through there. Try to avoid falling into a bunch of those snow caves in there. And work my way up the mountain, because I think that's where I have to go. We're in Echo Canyon. I have to cross this creek. There's actually two creeks I have to cross a couple times. The snowbanks are going to make them fairly interesting. It's about some places the wall's about 10 feet high and kind of radiuses. A lot of snow caves down near the creek. I have to be pretty careful. As it is, walking around up here, looks like you have a nice flat meadow, but that's not the way it is. Anytime that you see a depression, you have to start probing with your poles. I've already gone through a number of times, and boy does it take a lot of effort to get out. We get our first view up there of the summit goal today, but I don't think we're going to make it. I've spent too much time trying to find the trail again, walking around and over and through. Anyway, still a beautiful day, and what an adventure. Just an excuse to come back again. Stream crossing point. Found it. This mound of snow right here is about 10, 11 feet maybe. Got a lot of snowpack up here. Snow level recently went up over 7,000 feet, but if it rained on this, I think all it did was put more water in it. Good snowpack. Absolutely excellent. Another creek challenge. This bank right here is about, I don't know, 16 feet. 15, 16 feet. And as you can see, like on the other side, what you have underneath the snow is very tall, heavy brush. So that is not very secure to step on. You don't quite know what's going to happen. So I'm going to keep hiking on up this creek until I can find a place that isn't going to kill me or take too much out of me to cross. Here we go. The Cookin' Green Summit. Not my goal today, but definitely within striking. And this is where I found my way across this creek. Got kind of a hairy one to cross right here in front of me. I'm going to pan around here. Yeah, I found this snow bridge because it really takes a lot out of you to climb in and out of these steep ditches here. And I'm going to have to go in there and test that, make sure that's really solid. If I or the dogs fall through, that could take a while to get out. They seem to have pretty good sense about it, so I haven't had to rescue one yet. You can barely see it up there. We're just about up to the Pacific Crest Trail. Kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like out here. There's a long trudge up a snow meadow. Let's proceed. When I calibrated the GPS this morning, it had a claim that I was going to be accurate then about 30 feet, at least where it calibrated. I don't even know if you can see the mountain there. That was our summit goal. The mountain with no name that I know of. Sits between the Cookin' Green Butte and the Red Buttes. Haven't been able to find a name. Yeah, I know that the lake, which I'm very close to, has a pretty good bank. Oh, up against the side of the mountain there. So I'm going to try to stay over here in the woods. Looks like a little better travel. But this canyon carries the echo, that's why it's called Echo Canyon. Woo! Don't know if the phone picked it up, but that was 3 bounces. We'll try it again up here. Don't know if it's going to show on the video, but up the side of our summit goal today, I see someone has gone ahead of me. See those tracks? Straight up that thing. Those are bear tracks. If anybody wonders how powerful a black bear is, I'm here to tell you they're pretty blasted strong. And just to pick a route, further up the mountain I can see where he's scrambled up some rocks and just kind of went right up over the top up there. Isn't that something? I think I'll be foregoing that today. It may be just enough for me to get up above the lake on the PCT. This took more out of me than I thought it would today. I'm going to head out across this meadow, and the lake is right up above that rise. Right there in front of me. Okay, we're at Echo Lake. And of course the lake's frozen with a bunch of snow on it. I have to keep the dogs away from it. I have no idea how thick the ice is. It could be plenty thick. All down the sides of the canyon here, I see signs of the snow tumbling. But we had a pretty neat one over here, kind of a mini avalanche of sorts. I don't know if you can see that in the video. See that big pile of rough snow, and looks like about some 20-foot snowballs. If we look up to the top, that's where I was second route to go up, would be that cornice top up there. That's where that snow came from. I can see where it tumbled down the mountain, those massive snowballs. Probably not the best thing to climb today, but that would have set my feet up on the Pacific Crest Trail. My alternate route was right up that, right there. Got it zoomed up. Sit back out here. And that's pretty steep. Don't think I have that in me today. I might to do the little side one there. Looks like it would be a little safer than that cornice up there. Anyway, from Echo Lake. Boy, I'll tell you, next year I packed skis. This would have been just epic coming down this. Man, I wanted to get a set of those wide cross-country skis, but I just didn't do it. Too much happening, I guess. You can see my tracks where I came up. Anyway, wow, I mean, these snow bumps, and it would have been incredible. Next year it will happen. Pretty good progress on steep hillsides. Wish I had the strength to go up this fast. The snowshoes are sort of allowing a slide per step, taking a little less energy to move about here. Yeah, the dogs, they can stay right on top of this, especially where I've walked with the snowshoes already. Alright. Anyway.